loss of Tucker?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Definitely a tough one. We'll see what the injury is, what the status is on him, but next man up.
Jordan, why do you think you guys are starting so slow offensively?
Yeah, I think it's a lot. I think it just comes down to execution, penalties, turnovers, just all those things, and not finding ways to score in the red zone.
So teams are, almost everybody's playing pretty soft now, too deep, all of that. What's it going to take? You've seen it a lot now. What's it going to take to, put up your share of points against that?
Yeah, I think you got to, if they're going to play too high, you got to stay with the run game and find ways to, just dink and duck the ball down the field and find ways to, if you do have an explosive and try an opportunity to try and take the top off, you got to hit on those. But, it just comes back to finding ways to run the ball at a high level and, maximize yards after catch on some of the shorter passes and just keep finding completions.
What was the conversation to go for it there on 4th and 8 with 11 minutes left?
I think just Matt made a decision on that one to, want to try and put up a touchdown, and obviously it didn't work out.
So, Jordan, what are your options when that play doesn't go according to plan, right? Because you're just trying to make something happen then when you throw that one up.
Yeah, it's 4th down. I think the play we had called, it just didn't work. They were playing their soft defense and were able to be underneath it and started scrambling around. And at that point, you're trying to find a way to make a play. And you're going to take a shot, throw it to the end zone, and hope that somebody can come up and make a play. And me and Rome right there weren't on the same page. I don't know if he was pushed out of bounds too or not, but just weren't on the same page. But just got to find a way to try and put one in the end zone or pass the sticks and make a play on that.
In Arizona, the timeout before the 4th down was to get the kicking team off. What was the timeout for this time before you guys went for it?
Yeah, it was the operation. We were messed up on who was where and the formation and everything, so it was a lot of just chaos. I think pre-snap, the clock was getting low, and I didn't like where we were at, so just use the timeout right there.
Jordan, what does a guy like Tucker mean to this team? Obviously, we saw the injury, but what does he mean?
No, Tuck means a lot. I think his leadership role, and then obviously his play on the field. He's been playing at a high level, so we'll see what the injury is. But not having him out there for the rest of the game was huge. So yeah, it's one of those situations, though. It's the next man up. We got to find ways to keep playing at a high level without him out there.
The next man up is Luke. Obviously, you've been with him for a few years. He hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities the last couple, though. What's your comfort level and chemistry going forward with him?
I'm very comfortable with Luke. I think Luke's had his fair share of opportunities for sure. He's played a lot of ball, and he made some big-time plays today. Had a big-time catch, and so I think it's just keep building on that. I think obviously we'll see what the injury is, but he'll get more opportunities, and he's just got to keep maximizing those opportunities. But no, Luke's played a lot of ball. Got a lot of confidence in him.
What did you see on the deep shot that got intercepted? What were you trying to do there?
Yeah, they were playing quarters to the side Christian was on, and we had a play dialed up. I wanted to try and throw one past him. The backside safety was playing cloud, and I didn't see him. He was able to push over. We didn't have anybody holding him backside, so he was able to push over, and it was pretty much like a punt return. It's a bad decision.
Did the wind play any factor into that? It seemed like all the scoring came on the north end, the wind in the south end, where that pick happened seemed to be playing a factor.
Yeah, the wind definitely, it's there. It's definitely a factor. I think you'd see on one of their kicks, like just the ball just died. So it's definitely a factor, but you got to find ways to, keep playing through the wind and find ways to not let that affect you.
Jordan, can you describe just how frustrating it is out there to move the ball like you guys did, get in the red zone as many times as you did, and just not be able to get the points? Like emotionally, what's it like going through a game like that?
No, it's very frustrating. I think everybody was feeling that as an offense. I think, first half we were limited in possessions, and in those games you got to maximize every time you're on the field, and we didn't do that. We were able to move the ball up and down the field, but we would stall out, turnovers, penalties, just a lot of stuff. Just I think we were doing it to ourselves more than anything too. So definitely frustrating, and to not be able to put up more points than that, it's frustrating as an offense, but I feel like we're hurting our defense as well. So it's one of those areas we got to find ways to improve and keep building and put up more points. But at the end of the day, you got to just keep going, keep finding ways to maximize every possession, and end the drives with touchdowns.
We're almost halfway through the season now. What do you think the state of the offense is through close to half a season?
Yeah, I think it's inconsistent. You know, I think we've had games where we played very well, put up a lot of points, and we've had games where we have not put up enough points, and those are the games that you lose. So it's just inconsistent. We've got to find ways to keep just building on it, keep growing on the things we're doing well, and cleaning up a lot of the mistakes. But turnovers, penalties, all those things that are just negative are what's hurting us in some of these games where we're not playing at the level we played at in other games. So just got to find ways to be consistent. But I think in ways we're hurting ourselves in some of these games, and we just got to find ways to overcome that.
Jordan, you guys aren't doctors, but you could probably tell how Tuck reacted that it wasn't good. Does that affect you guys? I know you try not to let it affect you, but does it affect you guys when your guy goes down in that way?
Definitely. I think, anytime it's a knee injury, it's hard not to think of the worst, case scenario. So, it's tough to see anybody get injured. It's tough to see Tuck injured on the ground. But, you're praying for him, hoping for the best, hoping it's nothing too serious that he can come back from. But, it's football. It's a violent game. A lot of injuries happen, and you hate to see it. So, it's tough. But I think, like you said, on the field, the emotions that come with it, you got to find ways to overcome that and keep going.
Two more. So, Jordan, with that said, do you walk out of here going, I thought we were better than this? Like, no disrespect to the Panthers, but the way you guys have been playing coming in here, what's the frustration level just overall with the way you guys perform?
It's very frustrating. I think everybody in that locker room is very frustrated. It's tough. But I think the mindset or what we're walking out of that locker room feeling is if we don't play our best, we're going to get beat just like that, no matter who it is. So we got to find ways to be at our best and, like I said, be more consistent, put up more points in this. But it's definitely frustrating. But this is what happens if you don't play your best week in and week out.
What's going to be the most important thing to getting it turned around in time for Monday night?
You just got to get back to it. I think the most important thing is just everybody staying together, staying with that mindset, finding ways to get better, learning from the mistakes. But this is the NFL. This is what it is each and every week. You got to find ways to just come back to work, stay together, and find ways to get better.